Alright, so this is a quick guide to the new Northern Skies add-on we're going to be using. Northern Skies replaces MRT and also weak auras like Kazi ERT, which had the notifications. It's basically the same thing. So you type /ns to launch it. Here's what it looks like. What we're going to be using it for as officers is we're going to be importing timelines into it. So I'll give you an example here. We'll be posting notes in here for the raid. So here's all the bosses. And what will happen will be I will then click load, and it'll load everyone this note. And this note will tell you what to do on the fight if you have assignments, things like that. If you have a personal reminder, you can import it into personal reminders here. And basically load that as well, and it will play both. By default, I've posted settings, which will have all the settings I set as the default settings for you. I would suggest you just do that, and you can finagle it as you like. The key things for this add-on are going to be that you're able to see the information you're supposed to be being shared and then be able to react to it accordingly. I'll give you an example here. So the note you get will have spells and texts, which will cause things to appear on your screen. If you click preview alerts, it shows you what they look like. So, standard text message like stack or do personals, or if you have an ability, it'll yell. It'll also tell you to do stuff, as you can hear. You can change things like you can make it have a countdown. So let me give you an example here. If I up the countdown to 2 on spells, after it tells me that I need to have Ironbark, it'll give you a countdown of 2, as you'll see in a few seconds. There you go. So you can change things like have it say the spell name for the spell name, which is what I think it should be, and that's what it is by default. And similar for text, it'll tell you what to do. You can change how the icons look, the bar width. The bars are these bars. Some fights will have bars, potentially. Like these are like what used to have on weak auras. I haven't turned those on by default. They're under encounter alerts. So we'll see how they work, but we may turn these on, especially once the season releases and they update them. But these would do things like put those bars on the screen that we used to like. So that's the main thing it's going to be doing. And the reality is, once you get you don't have to do anything. Once you set this up and once you import the settings I gave you, you're good to go. If you want to see the notes, you can technically turn them on here to see what they say. I don't think there's any actual purpose to that per se, but you could do it if you wanted to. Other than that, it also has this, which does assignment weak auras, which means to me that they fixed nothing from getting rid of weak auras, but that's whatever. The one other interesting thing you can do that we'll have to see how it works out is this thing with private orders, which I've turned on by default. There are some things that are private orders, which means that it can't interpret them, but it can display them. So, for example, it might be like, oh, you've been targeted with this spell. So it'll show you that. It'll show you the timer, things like that. It can't be used for talk, TTS, whatever it is, text to speech. It can only be used for this stuff, but it might be helpful, and so I turned it on for now. It also has quality of life features you may remember for the other stuff, like it'll remind you when someone drops a soul well and you need a thing. It'll remind you when someone drops a feast. It'll remind you when someone drops a cauldron. It'll remind you when you need to repair and someone has dropped a repair. It also will include the auto repair and the auto invite on whispers. So those things are back in here, which is nice. Other than that, that more or less describes what the point of this is. Again, you'll be able to customize under reminders how these things appear, what you want. Do you want countdowns? How long do you want it to appear? Things like that. The default settings I've shown should be pretty good for most people, but it is what it is. There's a nicknames function. We're not going to use it currently because I don't understand it, but maybe we'll figure it out as we go along. And other than that, there's other things I can use to sort of help out. It will also give you a reminder to check if you need to repair or if you don't have a gateway control shard if you're cry. But yeah, and also it'll do a raid buff check and also remind a warlock like swag to put a soul stone on the healer to make sure we have white protection. I think it's gonna be great. What's going to happen is Shimmer and I are going to put together the notes as usual and push them out, and we can just use that to share them real easily. And then also, again, if you used personal notes, which is something Lemon always wanted, but I don't know if anyone did it, you can, again, import them here and use them as needed. As we go through the season, I may help people use that if they want to keep working on their damage or what have you, but we'll figure it out as we go. Either way, it's a nice replacement to what we were using in the past, and I look forward to working on it with all of you.